welcome to Win This Together,
our YouTube show where we support,
inspire,
and empower. Now, it is a Q&A show driven by all the questions you submit to us.
Yes, and thank you so much for your questions so far. And this is actually our special Easter Sunday edition, hence the selfie version.
Selfie mode.
Yes, we're in selfie mode, and we just really appreciate the questions and the pouring and the outpouring of love. And we really are here to support each other. We answer 2 questions every episode, 1 for each person. And Nicole, let's just go ahead.
All right.
Start.
So, one question that I got from Kayla,
Yes.
just make sure I read it properly,
Where's
is
Kayla from?
I set a goal, she's from Jamaica. So I set a goal but quickly lose motivation. How do I stay focused on the goal and actually achieve it?
That's a good
All right,
one.
that is an excellent question. Okay, so Kayla, here is the thing. You are not alone. This happens to many people.
Everyone, actually.
Here is my advice. First, write it down. It's very difficult to keep track of your goals if they're not written down and very clear.
Yep.
The second thing that you need to do is to think about the obstacles in your way. You know what, Camila? Too many people, they set a goal and they don't think about possible impediments,
Right.
like things that are going to come up. So when something comes up that
Yes.
throws them off, it just totally pop them
Throw it
down.
off and then you just don't bother anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so think about what could come up, but in particular, focus on your internal obstacles. For example, some people said I want to lose weight, not to talk about your topic, but anyway, some people said I want to lose weight. It's the easiest one I could think of because
Yes.
it's so particular to me.
Yes.
But like, so you'll say, I'm going to eat clean, but as soon as you get home, you're so tired and overwhelmed and
just
hungry, you
don't
just open the
Yes.
fridge and eat anything.
Right.
And that's something in your control. It's something specific to you. So you think about that obstacle within you and you say, what am I going to do when that happens? So you say, okay, when I come home, I'm always hungry, tired, and stressed, and I feel to be comforted by food, so I just eat anything.
Right.
You can say, instead of that, I am going to X. So instead of that, I am going to reach for this pre-prepared meal, or
Right.
I am going to instead read 2 chapters from this book, whatever
And
it is.
Instead, I'm gonna shop for something healthy.
Exactly.
I'm not having
No, it has to be
unhealthy food in
something.
it.
Well, yes, the healthy
house,
food.
you
You
understand?
have to have
Yeah.
a very specific action that is going to follow the
That
obstacle
obstacle.
that comes up for you.
Yes.
Very specific. So you
Yes.
have a game action
Yes.
plan.
Okay.
Okay. And then the other thing that you need to do is really also deeply consider why you want this goal. Too many of us set goals and we never really get in touch with why they're very important to us. And so sometimes the goal is just not that important to you, and it probably means you're not going to find the motivation and the inner strength and the kind of emotional strength as well to make it happen, because you're not deeply in touch with what that means for your life. So for me, when I wanted to take AIM global and I knew I had to build out a tech infrastructure, I wasn't accomplishing the goal. And I think part of it was because I hadn't thought deeply enough about what that would mean and why I needed to achieve that. And when I really got in touch with that, I was able to say, but this is exactly what my mission I feel in life
Right.
is.
So
And
the
if I don't do that,
sacrifice.
if I don't do it, then I'm sacrificing a whole lot. So all of a sudden, I just had to find the people, find the resources, not be
Right.
afraid that I
Yes.
didn't know, but just go after it and
Right.
get it done.
And then the sacrifice to achieve that all of a sudden becomes worth it because you're pairing it and you're matching it to some specific
Because it's that
reason.
internal drive,
Yes,
you know, it can never be
Right.
external. It
Yes.
has to be from within you, and then you have to take the time to really, think
that.
about that. So that, yeah.
Okay, so quickly summarize. Before we
Okay,
move on.
so number 1, write it down. Number 2, think about the internal obstacle that comes in your way when you think about achieving this goal, and then get deeply in touch with why it is that this goal is important for your life. What does it really mean? What's the cost of not achieving it?
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So let's move on to my question. So this is Natasha from Georgia. Hi, Natasha. She says, do I have to become a vegetarian in order to lose weight? I love my meat and I could never see
Me love my
myself
meat too.
giving it up. All right, so the short answer to that very loaded question is no, you don't have to give up meat necessarily to lose weight. But what I want you to focus on, Natasha, is health. Right? That's really, it should be the driving force behind all of the decisions of what we eat every day.
And Camila, when you focus on health, you lose weight anyway.
You lose weight anyway. Thank you. And if we're tying it back to your question, which I love to do because it shows how everything is interconnected, right? That should really be so. You're holding on to your meat, but if you really think of it from a health perspective, then maybe it would be easier for you to kind of let it go a little bit. So let's talk about the health aspect of meat. So for one, meat is very acidic, right? And our bodies operate best in an alkaline state. So we really want to be making sure that we're making alkaline decisions as much as possible.
I read somewhere that an acidic state in the body is where cancer thrives as well?
That is where most diseases.
And everybody has cancer these days.
There you
it's
go.
So scary.
Cancer, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, all of these things, happen from inflammation in the body, which is really largely caused from an acidic state. So you really want to kind of cut back on your meat. The next thing I want to clear up is this misconception that you actually need to have meat in order to get enough protein. That couldn't be further from the truth. Kale, for example, has 51% more.
Kale has protein?
Kale actually has 51.
I had no idea.
Protein.
What?
Which actually, when you stack it up to steak, is almost as much as steak per weight. And so things like, spirulina, you can put in your shakes. Beans, legumes in general, nuts and seeds. There's so many ways that you can, kind of incorporate all of these plant-based proteins and not have to rely on meat.
Okay. So we don't need it for protein.
We don't need it for protein. And then thirdly, what you can do is kind of cut back. You don't have to eliminate meat altogether, right? But for example, a Harvard University study shows that if you even cut back once a week, right, where you have a meatless Monday, for example, or one meatless day, then it reduces your risk of a heart attack by 19%. So that just shows you that you don't
just one day.
So if you are somebody who loves to hold on your meat, hold on to your meat, then all you have to do is think of it from a health perspective. Not have meat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because there are some people who do that. And just choose one day a week where it's meatless.
Yeah,
where you're still
that's not too hard. And you know what I've learned about change, Camila? If you look at it all as this one thing, I have to give up all meat tomorrow, then you're never ever going to even sustain any kind of change. It's just little.
There you go. You can't do anything too drastic, especially if you are somebody who's conditioned to think that you need to have meat in every single meal.
All right, so Camila, give me a quick summary.
Okay, so a quick summary is no, you don't have to cut out meat in order to lose weight. However, you really want to have the lean versions of meat, right? Meat is acidic, so you really want to minimize how much meat you're having. Don't have meat in every single meal. Cut back on how much you're having. Think of maybe one meatless day a week. And then also think of plant-based sources of protein, because those are still good sources of protein.
Okay, great. Sounds awesome. Okay, we hope we answered your questions completely. Yes. Thank you very much for watching us.
Yes, and continue to send them in.
Send on the questions, because without the questions we have no show. Although no enough speed find something to talk about. But this show is about you. And this is a special Easter Sunday selfie edition. So it was totally in selfie mode and we completely enjoyed it. So thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.